Live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Let me just double check here, make sure I'm online here. I'm having my morning cup of coffee, my coffee with Gino cup here. My Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is my choice of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Coffee, cream, and sugar, all in one, powder form. You put it in your cup, put hot water, and you got a nice cup of coffee. All right, looks like I'm on. Looks like I'm on. I'll start with the weather. I've been starting with the weather with my live stream. I just dropped off Leanna at school. Light rain here in Numancia, Aklan. The temperature here in Numancia, Aklan, 23 degrees Celsius. So that's about 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Cooler than normal. I was actually watching Westpax. Westpax is like an American guy. He does the weather here. He's not based in the Philippines. So actually, he's here right now, I think in the Cebu area, but normally he's not in the Philippines, but he does the weather. He does the weather for the Philippines. Really does a good job. Really does a good job. I prefer listening to him actually than Pag-asa, because sometimes Pag-asa, they start talking in Tagalog. I just understand him better. So, but if you're looking for weather report here in the Philippines, Westpax is his name. Pretty good weather update here in the Philippines. Looks like it's gonna be cloudy all day here today, rainy again. Like I was saying, it's like cooler temperatures. That's why man, I've been wearing long sleeve. I got my hoodie, when I go outside. For me, anything 70, 75 around that area, man, that's cool. That's cool weather here for the Philippines, man. I've been here 15 years. I'm used to like 90 degree, 100 degree temperatures here in the Philippines. We actually haven't used our AC. Usually our air conditioning at nighttime, we turned it on in order for us to sleep because it's warm here even in the evening time. But I can't remember the last time we used our AC. It's been a week, man. It's been like cooler temperatures here in the Philippines. Capistrano said hi. Hello, Bri. And let me see here. Okay. Looks like Ted. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Ted from Bohol. It's hard for me to read sometimes. I think it's the glare here or something when it's green. Joe Cano. Hey, Joe Cano. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Joe Cano. Bri. Good morning, Sir Gino. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Bri. Ted. Nice. Cooler day where you are. Yes. Actually, yesterday, here in the Philippines, man, this is common here in the province, and I know this doesn't happen when, here like yesterday, Dazzle and I we were out and about, after the Super Bowl, we were out about. We get a text message. We're in a group chat with Leanna's school. It's like the parents and then the teacher. All of a sudden, you get a text. It's like early release for the kids. Pick them up. It's like, what the heck, man? It's like, but it's because yesterday, rain. They had like around 11 o'clock, they had a warning, red alert rain, heavy rain here in Aklan yesterday afternoon. So they sent all the kids home for the afternoon. That just happens here. That happens all the time. You got to be on your phone. You got to be like checking your phone for messages from the school. It's like, I guess they figure everybody here, there's somebody at home to pick up the kids, but you always have to be on the alert to like pick up your kids here because they just can decide like to release them from school. They won't just let them out the school. The teacher at least stays with the kids and make sure that a parent is picking up the kid. J-Boy, hey J-Boy, hello brother Gino, hello brother J-Boy. Colonel, hey, good morning Colonel, raining here. I know, I expect it to rain again hard today here in Aklan also, Colonel, because yesterday it came down pouring. Joel and Ruben and I, we were watching the Super Bowl at Cafe Argon in Calibo. We did that last year too. We watched the Super Bowl there last year. We just noticed like yesterday, it was just like a day. The difference was only like a day for the Super Bowl last year and this year. So we were having breakfast there, watching the Super Bowl. Man, it was just pouring outside. It was pouring outside, man. I don't know where all this rain is coming from. I'm looking at the windy app. There's no, no tropical storm, tropical depression, pag-asa even on the weather. The weather people here in the Philippines, the government agency that tracks the weather here, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, pag-asa, that's a weather channel here in the Philippines. Nothing as far as they keep talking about the shear line, and I tried to read up on the shear line. Basically, it's like cold temperatures coming from like all the way from Alaska, even like coming down to like going down south. It's causing like the cooler temperatures. It says here, Visayas, where we belong, Albay, Sorsogon, Masbate, Dinagat Islands, cloudy skies, scattered rains, and isolated thunderstorm because of the shear line. Possible flash floods or landslides due to moderate heavy rains. And here in Aklan, man, even like Aklan River, it goes through several municipalities, several towns here in our province. Big river, Aklan River is gigantic. And a lot of the areas from Libacao, Madalag, Lezo even, and Calibo, they watch the river. All the bridges have like a point where they mark orange or yellow, orange or red, because they're worried about flooding here because we have a massive river here called Aklan River. And yesterday when I passed Aklan River going through Calibo and Numancia Bridge, that water is high, man. That water is high. I mean, it's almost like, I would say another 6 feet, and it'll touch the top of the road there, top of the bridge. La Serna, actually, is the lowest lying area. La Serna is a barangay here in Calibo. It's right, the very first barangay that gets flooded every time in Calibo is Barangay La Serna, because part of their barangay is on the river. And of course, yesterday they were flooded in Barangay La Serna. For those of us who like jogging, sounds like, oh yeah, I mean, it's a great day, man. It's like, I haven't walked this morning. I took Leanna to school, but maybe after, usually I try to get my walk before the live stream, but today I was kind of a little bit busy trying to come up with a topic and then like catching up on messages, people messaging me. So I'll do my walk after the live stream. I'll walk my dog Totoy outside later. Yeah, I love cooler temperatures. I used to be a runner up to like, I would say, before I got, right before I got diagnosed with cancer in 2023, I was running 5 kilometers a day, man. It was nothing. I was a serious runner all my life through my military years. Once I got out, always been a runner. Now I'm more like a walker. Might jog a little bit once in a while, but more like a walker now. Got my sweatshirt jacket. I know, right? That's what me, Colonel. I got a t-shirt, I got a sweatshirt, and a little bit chilly for me. I'm not used to cool temperatures anymore, man. 70 degrees, man. 73 degrees. Gino, you're on the big screen. I'm on the big screen, man. I'm moving up, Colonel. I'm going big time. I'm going on the big screen. Charlie, hey, good morning, Charlie lads. A rough story. I know. My brother in Boston, man. It is what it is, man. But the Pats, they're in good shape, man. They got a second-year QB, made it to the Super Bowl already. They got a good future ahead, and they just got to surround him now with the right pieces. You got the main piece. You got the franchise quarterback. So now you just got to surround him. Definitely offensive line. I don't know if they gave up too many sacks, man. Come on, offensive line. But I wasn't really rooting for any team. I actually didn't really watch a lot of football this year. I think I watched one football game before the Super Bowl, and it was a free game on Netflix. I'm just not a big football fan anymore. Because here in the Philippines, I have to like subscribe or pay to watch, and I'm not willing to pay for football anymore. Oop! Man, it went faster. It moved the. Let me just go back. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Where are you from? All right, Aaron. I'm from the Philippines. Born and raised in the Philippines. I moved to the United States. I lived there for about 30 plus years in the US, but I've been back here in the Philippines now for the last 15 years. I'm retired United States Air Force military, and I'm here in the Philippines, back in Aklan province is where I live in the Philippines. Just watched the recap of the Super Bowl. Seattle's defense. Oh yeah, it's like it really was a boring game. To tell you the truth, Colonel, it was a boring game. Yeah, we just started talking. Ruben and Joel and I, we just started talking. We just like we weren't really paying attention much to the game after a while because it was like 9-0, man, 9-0 at the half. There wasn't much going on. It's like. Michael said hi. Hello, Lucita. Good morning, Lucita. My good friend in Maine in the United States. Joe Cano, 38 Fahrenheit here, snowing. Had been in the 50s for a few days. Must be rough to cool temp. In the 70s, hey, it is cool for me, man. 70 is cool for me, Joe. I normally you don't see me wearing sweatshirts. Most of the time I'm just wearing t-shirts. But I guess I've been here so long in the Philippines now. I'm not adjusted to like cool temperatures anymore. When I was in the U.S., it's like even in Arizona, we got cold temperatures during January, February, and I would still be wearing shorts running outside. Hey Derek, aloha, my brother from in Hawaii. Joe Cano. There it is. Charlie, Colonel, yes, very tough. But the Pats offensive line is yeah, that's what I was saying. When I was watching the game, definitely the offensive line definitely needs an upgrade. They already got a quarterback, man. That's like the one piece you need, to win in the NFL. 80 is cool for the Colonel. I know, man. Hey, JP Calibo. Good morning, Gino and everyone. Good morning, JP. The Colonel, Charlie, say no more. I'm a Dallas fan, so I can relate to less than stellar performances. Was watching Turning Point alternate halftime show before Daz came on. Sound like Bad Bunny was not only bad but a bust. He deleted all this after halftime. Yeah, we didn't even watch any other halftime. To tell you the truth, Joe, we were just like we started talking. Ruben had just flown back. He had spent Christmas, New Year's in San Diego, and he just flew back a couple of days ago. So he had a lot of stories for us, how it is in the U.S. So that's what our topic. And Joel and Ruben, we watched the Super Bowl last year, and then this year they actually met up when they were in San Diego because Joel goes to Long Beach, and then he just made a special trip while one time Ruben was still in San Diego. So we've become really good friends. So we just had a fun, just sitting, good breakfast. I ate kimchi fried rice with bulgogi with egg. It's like a rice bowl. Ruben, he ate nasi goreng, the good Malaysian dish, and then Joel had pancakes. I was gonna get the pancakes, then I saw the kimchi fried rice and bulgogi, and I was like, oh man, I haven't had bulgogi in a while. Colonel is cool at yeah. Colonel's cool at any temperatures. Joe. Bill Meyer, hey, prayers, Bill Meyer. Good morning, good morning. I've got to go, Gino. All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Charlie Les, for stopping by. Appreciate that, appreciate it. My brother in Boston. All right, let me see. Not a fan of, yeah. To me, it's got all that. You know me, Colonel. I don't get into politics and all that. And to me, I think that's why even Dazzle, told me I really don't watch a lot of the news anymore in the U.S. If anything, I watch it because you guys tell me what's happening in the U.S. And then, of course, I said, well, let me look at it. But really, I think that was one of the things I was gonna try to do this year. Was one of my resolutions. I'm just not gonna pay attention on any more of stuff going on in the U.S. because to me, I mean, it's infiltrated everything. Come on, man. Halftime show become an issue. It's like, to me, it's like, it's silly at this point. Everybody just want to disagree with everybody. And I'm not into that. It's like, it is what it is. Yes, it is what it is, Colonel. I'll just focus, like I always do on our channel, Positivity, and the Philippines. I'll talk. Really, I haven't been in the United States in 15 years, so I really can't talk about what's going on in the U.S. The things I learn about the U.S. now is from people that come here and tell me, people I helped here, JP when he came here, Edgar when he came here, now Daniel's coming up here. I learn about the U.S. from them now because, when you're gone from a place, you're not in a position, I think, for me anyway, I'm not in a position to talk about what's going on in the U.S. anymore. I've been gone too long. It's like I'm no longer boots on the ground in the U.S. I'm boots on the ground here. I could talk about what's going on here. What I see, I can interpret what I see and talk to you guys about. But what I see now, when I look at the news, when I look at YouTube, because that's primary, my news is YouTube or Facebook. To me, it's all confusion. It's like I don't know who to believe anymore. What I'm seeing, going on in the U.S. That's why I'm just gonna lessen my exposure to it. I'll just let you guys tell me what's going on, and I'll just go, okay, all right. I'll just go, okay, all right. Hit the like, people, or the white vans will get you. And I always in the Philippines and the white vans. Michael C, hey, my brother Interesse Martires, bro, happy Tuesday. Thank you for saying it's happy Tuesday because I don't even know, man. I don't even know what day it is today, man. I don't really keep track of days. I just keep track of Leanna because I have to take her to school. When I wake up or when she wakes up and starts going take a shower, put her uniform on, I know I have to take her to school. I like the hoodie, Gino. Hey man, I got this from a friend came over from Atlanta. He stayed in Boracay and he said, "Hey Gino, I want to meet you." We've been chatting on. I said, "All right." It's like went to Boracay and he gave me this hoodie, man. It's a nice hoodie, man. I like it. It's all white. It's got that dry fit material. I like it, man. Not really thick. It's just very comfortable. Good morning, Colonel, JP and Fortune, Michael C. Good morning, Michael C. All right. And I do have a topic today. I'm trying to get through the comments. I don't want to get too behind on the comments, but I do have a topic to discuss today. Gino, does the hoodie come in the I don't know because dry fit hoodie is hard. I've never seen one here in the Philippines. A dry fit hoodie, that would be hard. That would be hard to find here. I'm a girl. All right. Villegas. All right. I'm a girl. All right. Kim Mandal, good morning, Gino, and everyone watching. Is it someone subscribe? Yeah, you can subscribe to the channel. You can just hit subscribe if you want. No pressure. I never pressure people to subscribe. you will never hear me say subscribe, like, all that. I don't do that stuff. You subscribe, you subscribe. You like, you like. It's all up to you. People more, the people watching are the ones who really like, hey, give him a thumbs up, give him a thumbs up. Not that important to me. Not, I don't count views. I don't do any of that. I just do YouTube because I enjoy it. I like the people that I meet. I like the friends that I have on YouTube. Where is Daniel's countdown sitting? Ooh, Daniel's countdown sitting. He is leaving the United States. I know he had to push it a little bit. It was, I think, March 1st he was going to leave, but now I think it's March the 3rd. The 3rd of March is when he leaves the United States. But he's going to spend 2 weeks in Japan. He's going to vacation first in Japan because, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for him to vacation in Japan. I can't blame him. 2 weeks in Japan. That's awesome. But he will be here next month in the Philippines in March for sure. Emerson, come here, Turkey. Hey, Turkey. I've never been to Turkey. I was, there's people. There used to be a United States Air Force base in Turkey, Incirlik Air Base. I never got the opportunity to go to Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. Pinoy in Washington. Kumusta, bro? Seattle Seahawks, the best football. All right, congratulations. I know you're happy your team won. Team for this year, 2026. Definitely. It's sunny. Monday, we will have... awesome, man. I love the parades, man. I love the parades. When the Dodgers, back-to-back years, Dodgers have won. I watched the entire parade on TV, man. It's awesome. Enjoy the parade, man. Seattle earned it. They well-deserved. Best team in 2025-26 season. Ruben, hey, good morning, people. There's Ruben. Ruben's back in Kalibo. He's back in Kalibo. My important local news. Mangosteen season appears to be coming to an end. Oh no, mangosteen season's coming to an end. JP, I gotta find my last batch of mangosteen then. And the fresh fruit and veggie price appear to be stable. All right. Thank you, JP. Thank you for the update. And looks like the public market, the new public market in Kalibo, I passed it yesterday. Looks like it's not very far from getting done. Looks like it's going to open here, I would say a month or two from now, it's going to open. Ruben, finally get a chance to start my normal routine this morning after returning from my trip to the USA and Angeles. All right. I know Ruben in Kalibo, his routine from his apartment. Ruben likes to walk, man. He'll walk from his apartment all the way in Rojas Avenue. And one of his routine is meeting up with Manong. The Manongs of Kalibo. They're like the OGs. They're the original. These are like the older gentlemen, retired gentlemen in Kalibo. A lot of engineers, former politician. That's the kind of people Ruben be rolling with, man. So they hang out at Dunkin' Donut, drink coffee, eat donuts, and that's one of Ruben's routines here in Kalibo. Joe Cano, welcome back, Ruben. Yeah, I'm so happy to see Ruben. It's like he had chocolates and candy brought from San Diego for Dazzle and Leanna. Thank you for that, Ruben. Dazzle and Leanna, appreciate it. They're already eating it. They were already eating some of it. Even Mom, did you get some of the candy and chocolate?
I ate one.
Yeah. Mom even ate some, Ruben. Hey, there's Daniel, my brother in Jacksonville, Florida. Howdy, all my posse bros. 21 days, wow, 21 days, man. 3 weeks, Daniel. I cannot believe it, man. I remember when the countdown was over 100. So now the countdown is down to 21 days and a wake up. That is awesome. Depart USA. Okay, March 2. I was thinking 3 for some reason. March 2. Depart to Tokyo. I know you got some days in Tokyo now. March 15 in Lapu-Lapu in Cebu. All right, Daniel. Looking forward to seeing you here, man. Can't wait to finally meet you here in the Philippines. Peanut Butter Travels here. All right. Not too many wake up left for you in the States now. No, man. 21 days. That is nothing. That is nothing. I know so many things going through Daniel's mind last minute. Like, did I take care of everything? Just relax, Daniel. It's like you're on the home stretch. Just enjoy the adventure, man. Enjoy the beginning of your adventure. JP, welcome, Daniel. All right. All right, I got to the bottom, so I'm going to talk about my topics today. I did prepare some. Very first thing I saw, travel warning to the Philippines. Another government, Australian government warns travel warning to the Philippines. Right there's like I saw the travel warning to the Philippines from the Australian government. So they're not the first. The United States has always had an ongoing travel advisory for the Philippines. But this caught my eye because another country, and it's not the first, there's other countries that do travel warnings to the Philippines. It says here, another foreign government has issued updated travel advisory for the Philippines, urging its citizen to exercise high degree of caution when visiting the country. And most of the things some of the reasons, the main thing that I'm reading, they have security risks, terrorism threats, violent crime, all that. But the main thing that they always kind of point out, and again, it's unfortunate for Mindanao, but that's the thing, man. Mindanao always have that a stigma or that bad reputation here in the Philippines. Like here it says, regional conflict, particularly in parts of Mindanao, where travel is strongly discouraged. And like I said, they're not the only country that strongly discourages people from traveling in Mindanao. But you know how it is. Many expats live in Mindanao. I know this. I know that many expats, I get communication from one of my friends, Biswax on our live stream. He lives in Davao City. He says it's perfectly safe. And I believe him. I believe that it's safe even in Mindanao. But unfortunately, there's always that stigma. Things happen in Mindanao that doesn't happen here in Visayas, that doesn't happen in Luzon. A couple of weeks ago, that guy with the RPG rocket grenade, he launched a rocket grenade on a clan war. It's not like there's clans in that area, Mindanao, where Ampatuan is one of the clans. It's kind of like the Hatfields and the McCoy in the U.S. They've always warred with each other for like decades. So there's always like back and forth with them. That kind of stuff happens in Mindanao, unfortunately. The advisory specifically warns against travel to central and western Mindanao, Zamboanga Peninsula. Zamboanga is the word, that area, if you recall, about 2 years now, I think, with that guy Elliot, where white guy that married a Filipina that was Muslim, and you know what happened to him, unfortunately. Sulu Archipelago and parts of the southern Sulu Sea. Definitely Sulu, that's you're going into dangerous territory once you go to like Zamboanga and Sulu. The Abu Sayyaf, that's the extremist Muslim group in Mindanao area. They're not as strong as they used to be. You don't hear much from Abu Sayyaf anymore, but they're still around. So I'll leave it at that. They're still around. They haven't wiped them out completely, the Abu Sayyaf terrorist group in Mindanao. So, like I said, those are the things that if you live here in Visayas region, in Luzon region, those are some of the things that you don't have to really deal with. If you pick Mindanao, it's your choice. There are just things that happen in Mindanao that doesn't happen in Luzon or Visayas region. All right, let me try to catch up here too, because I do not want to get too behind here on the comments. Welcome Daniel from JP, and then Ted. I heard Ruben mention, yes, Ruben's from San Diego, California, but he now lives here in Calibo. He just goes back and forth, spends more time here. I know Ruben last year, he spent like 11 months here in the Philippines, and probably, same thing this year. He just goes back to San Diego for his medical checkups in San Diego. I lived here in San Diego. Okay, Ted. All right. Oh, I was looking at the Ted. Okay, I thought, Ted. I'm confused. Let me see. Ted. Oh, it's a different Ted. I thought you were like Ted from Bohol. I apologize, Ted. I couldn't tell because like the screen on my screen is green. It's hard for me to read. So many people. I know my good friend Chris. He was just here. We spent time in Boracay with his brother Joel. He's also from San Diego. He's about ready to retire in San Diego. So he's looking about retiring here and be part of the Panay Posse here also. Joe, all right. Ruben is going to be into the political establishment, barangay. No, Joe, Ruben's easygoing, man. Ruben's all about just having fun. He likes to hang out with the OGs, the manongs of Calibo, but he also likes to shoot pool. Ruben's an excellent pool player, and he's got a couple of places in Calibo where he shoots pool, like billiards and pool. There's just things to do here. And he's met people there also. Not only he hangs out with the manongs, but he's got pool players in Calibo that he plays with. And you can have a beer. While you're playing pool here, you can have a beer. They have a refrigerator with beer. So shoot pool, drink beer. It's like some of the things that Ruben enjoys in Calibo. What part of San Diego did you live? LOL. He fired the RPG. Well, I know that kind of funny in a way, but it's like that's pretty serious. Like, and he hit the armored SUV, and the armored SUV was able to drive off, which was what freaked me out. I was like, wow, it's like they must have some serious armor in that SUV. Started my countdown 120 days. I remember Daniel when you were 120 days. Almost 2 years prepping. Hey, that's all right though, man. You did it right. Daniel. You prepared. You didn't rush into it. Lots of preparation on your part, and I think that's gonna pay off once you get here. My rent lease to March 12th to move all my things that is left. Congratulations. Best of luck with your travels. I know. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to meet Daniel in person. I've been communicating with him for so long now. I always feel safe in Calibo walking around. Yeah, that's the thing, and that was going to be part of, my topic today, my discussion today. You really just have to do your research. I know it's confusing. Like, I'll bring up the topic. I was reading this, and this is talked about a lot on the different Facebook groups I belong. And I think people are confusing tourism and living in an area. For me, those are two different things, because the Philippines right now, they're not doing well in tourism. The tourism numbers in the Philippines are horrible compared to the other Southeast Asian countries. But to me, it makes all sense. And I'll explain it. That's what my topic is today. Southeast Asia tourism industry in 2025. Um, Malaysia led all of Southeast Asia. Malaysia led with 28 million, and then Thailand comes second with 21 million. And then I think Vietnam was next with like 19 million, Vietnam. And all the way down, it's like the Philippines. The Philippines, I think, was like 5 million. So if you're comparing like the tourism numbers, we just can't compete. We cannot compete with especially Vietnam now. A lot of people are going to Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand. The Philippines will never beat those countries as far as tourism. And I'll explain it. Why I think, right? Why I think. First, we don't have the infrastructure here in the Philippines. I've visited these countries. I went to Bangkok. I've been to Bangkok. I've been to Singapore. I've been to Malaysia, Brunei. I've traveled Southeast Asia. And the first impression I get when I come to go to those countries is their airport system, their pickup system from the airport to the hotel. They got like transport, like from the airport, they got people with signs like, getting you from the airport to the hotel. It's just very efficient. And unfortunately, the Philippines, they lag way behind on that because we probably have the worst airport in Southeast Asia. I'm not gonna lie. Manila International Airport, it's got to be like in the bottom of like airports because it's chaos when you land, when you depart or land in Manila International Airport. It's just chaos, and then you're not really, even for me, I hate going to Manila, man. If I have to fly into Manila, I just hate it because the very first thing that will like, when you land in Manila that you're gonna like suffer through is the taxis. Yeah, people say, hey, why not just get Grab. It doesn't work as easy as you think as Grab when you land in Manila because like it's so congested at the entry point. There's so many taxis blocking it. You might have a Grab, but like if you could get lucky and get a Grab, but for you to connect with your Grab driver to figure out where he'll pick you up or where you will meet him, not as easy as you think it is. You end up just riding a taxi, which you're not sure if the taxi driver is going to rip you off or not. And that's the very first impression a lot of people unfortunately get about the Philippines. I mean, they're trying to remedy it now. They're trying to build another airport. There's going to be a massive international airport in Bulacan, about an hour away from Ninoy Aquino. Hopefully, maybe, but it's going to be a while till they finish that new airport, spending billions of dollars on this massive airport. So no telling how that would improve. But that's the first impression. And it's not a good impression for the Philippines, to get that, your initial. It's never a smooth landing. It's never a smooth landing. So, and then. In my travels in Southeast Asia, it's just cheaper on other Southeast Asian countries as a tourist. If I go to Thailand for 20 bucks a night on a hotel, I can get a nice room. I can get in Bangkok in a nice area. Hard to find that even in Manila. It's like the prices are just higher and the quality is lesser. So there's a lot of things that not going in favor of the Philippines when it comes to tourism. And people also, when they go to like of course, when you travel, first time travelers mostly, right? When they go to Southeast Asia, even the tourist destinations. When I go to Bangkok, I've been to Pattaya. When I went to Kota Kinabalu, but the places where I go to, you just don't feel like. I don't know what it is with like Filipinos. I'm Filipino, so when you go to the tourist destinations here in the Philippines, I don't know if it's just a culture, or I don't know if the local government needs to do more training on tourism. But a lot of the locals, like even in Boracay, I'll just, I go to Boracay all the time. So I'll give you a perfect example for Boracay. They just don't think long term. The locals in Boracay, for me, if I was living in Boracay, my income is going to come from Boracay Island. I would do all I can to welcome the tourists, right? I would do all I can to like make them feel comfortable, make them want to come back. But that's not the impression that you get from the people working in Boracay. What you get is like people hustling. And hey, I'm not gonna badmouth anybody for their hustle. Everybody got to hustle here in the Philippines, or you won't survive. But you just get that feeling that even for me, I know the prices in Boracay. I know how much an e-trike should cost. I know how everything should cost. So even for me, when somebody tries to sell me something or offer me a service and they're trying to gouge me double the amount, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look, man, because you're going like, dude, man, I know the price, brother. It's like my brother, my cousin does the same thing you're doing, So to me, it's just that, they don't look long term here, unfortunately. A lot of that, when you go to tourist destination here, they look at tourists and they look at tourists as like, and not even tourists, even the local Filipinos that go to Boracay, even the local tourists here in the Philippines, even me, if I go to Siargao or if I go to Bohol, even my fellow Filipino, they're trying to like raise the price. They're trying to get as much money out of you. They don't look long term. They don't look long term as far as like making it and of course, when you get ripped off and you get in your mind, you got ripped off, you got scammed. That's not a good impression to leave in that tourist that you probably will never go back to that place, right? Because you're going like, man, it's like I'm trying to enjoy a vacation, not to get ripped off. Started my countdown, Ted. Congratulations. I always feel safe. Okay. My first day off. All right, first day off. All right, Daniel. Now, the rest for the next push. All right. Vaughn, Daniel, my brother. Hey. Thanks for everyone's thoughts and best wishes for Daniel. I'm Ted in I know Ted in San Diego. I know. I just saw Ted and I thought you were Ted in Bohol. It's like because Ted in Bohol. I've never seen you Ted in San Diego in the chat, but I apologize. That was my mistake. April 20 is our divorce mediation date. So hopefully things can be settled and count down. All right. Wishing you the best, my brother. Wishing you the best. I am going to shake your hand one day. You're an inspiration. All right. Fortune, good AM, Gino. Fam, and the Panay Posse. Hey, good morning, Fortune. My brother in Bacoor. Oh, there's Ted Bohol. So now I have a Ted from Bohol and I have a Ted from San Diego. I'll keep that in mind now. Keep that in mind. Ruben, by the way, along the Fringe Park Homes, Calachuchi, and a short walk to Roas, there's a new butcher shop. All right, butcher shop. Okay. That has been open for a few months now. All right, thanks, Ruben. And yesterday when I picked up Ruben, when we went to the Cafe Argon, there's a cafe that opened up for Ruben's apartment. I'm talking like two doors down from Ruben's apartment. There's a new cafe that opened there. We'll have to check that out, Ruben. The best part is there will be a new the new coffee shop. And I'm like, dang, Ruben, you're moving up, brother. You got a coffee shop right next door to you, man. Good day. And like I said, that's happening all over in Calibo, man. People love coffee here in Calibo. So many new coffee shops. If you're a coffee lover, and it's not just local beans. You got beans from Mindanao, beans from Benguet province, beans from Batangas, but they're also like importing beans from Malaysia, from even Hawaii, Kona beans. I mean, they're getting fancy, man. They're getting fancy here in Calibo, man. Fortune, good AM. Joe, J Boy, Colonel, Charlie, Lucita. Sounds like Ruben. Sounds like Ruben. Congrats to all the Seahawks fans. All right. Good morning, Fortune and all. Good AM, Derek. Good morning for Fortune. All right, everybody saying good morning. That's all right. That's all right. Good morning, Rans. That's why I don't want to get too behind since everybody's like just saying hello to everyone here. Daniel is waving goodbye. Must be a cloud in the sky. Yep, I am. Bon, all right. The lack of Philippine tourism is that is lacking that shining thing for people to see. One. But, and that was just part one of my discussion. Part one of my discussion with tourism. Tourism will always lag. I mean, you're looking at the big difference, like over 30 million for Malaysia, you know, over 20 million, and then the Philippines like 5 million. So big gap, right? And they'll never reach that level. A lot of it too, because like even for me, when I traveled to those places, it was interesting for me. You know, it's like when you go to those places, like when I go to Thailand, I'm seeing like Buddha. I'm seeing like monks. I'm seeing like things that I don't normally see here in the Philippines. And probably if you're coming from the US, Canada, it's just more culture in those areas. In the Philippines, it's really when you travel to the Philippines, the main attraction I would say for the Philippines are the beaches. You know, the beaches. As far as the culture here, the culture is so similar to America. You know, it's like even like if I'm looking at Calibo, the only really culture I can see in Calibo would be like Ati-Atian Festival, and that's done like 10 days in January. Then after that, to me, I'm looking at what cultural thing can Calibo have? You know, maybe the church, maybe a Spanish church, you know, but there's not a lot of like, it's similar. It's similar to like what you see, what you would see in America, especially like Manila, like a BGC, Makati. All that is like when you go to Manila, it's malls. There's not a lot of like, you know, like when you go to Thailand, you know, there's the floating river market, or there's like the show with the cobras, you know, show, you know, there's just a lot of that stuff, a lot of like cool things that you can do. When you go to like Manila even, or you go to like the tourist destinations here, it's mostly the beach. You know, it's like Boracay's the beach, Palawan's the beach, Bohol's the beach. You know, that's what the Philippines offer is the beach. But the second part of my discussion, just because those countries like kill the Philippines when it comes to tourism, it doesn't mean that it's a better country for you to like go there and live and retire. Like me, I've gone to those places, but if I was single, specifically like Daniel, specifically like JP, Edgar, the single guys that are coming here to the Philippines, if I'm going to those countries, you know, the opportunity to meet a partner there is not easy compared to the Philippines. One, the biggest is the language barrier. You know, it's like my date, I lived in Korea for a year. I lived in Japan for 4 years. I visited those. Every time I'm in another Southeast Asian country, language is an issue. I mean, language is an issue the minute you land at the airport. You can't even the people working at the airport, you're like, you would think they're at the airport, they would at least speak English, right? And you're like asking them, you know, it just doesn't come easy. I mean, there's phones now. You can go Google Translate. I mean, I'm sure that helps. I haven't tried it. I haven't been traveling as much this last few years since I had gotten sick. But to me, it's a lot of people, you know, on the comments on the different groups, you know, they'll see that the tourism numbers are low for the Philippines, so they jump on the Philippines. Oh yeah, Thailand's way better. You know, don't move to the Philippines. Don't live in the Philippines. And I'm going like, those are two different things, really. Tourism, and for me, you know, I do not mind that the tourism is lower numbers here in the Philippines. I don't even mind that tourism is getting lower in Boracay Island, because to me, I'm living here. It's like it's better for me. It's less people for me in Boracay, less people that I have to maneuver around here in the Philippines. And most of the people living here in like a Klang province, they could care less about the number of tourists coming to the Philippines, to tell you the truth, because a lot of the people here, JP, Ruben, they've seen it. A lot of the people that live here in the Klang province, these are farmers, these are fishermen. What do they got to do with tourism? It's like they're not affected so much as whether how many tourists Boracay hits every year. They're always like, there's bean counters in Boracay trying to count the number of tourists visiting Boracay. A lot of the locals here, they're not affected by that. When you're a farmer here in Aklan, when you're a fisherman, your daily routine is just the same, the tourism number. And that's why also for the people, expats that live here, we're not affected by tourism numbers. It's not a big deal to us. I know it's a big deal for people. They see that, oh, that's why I'll never go to the Philippines. Oh, they have a travel advisory there. It's unsafe in the Philippines. I'll never go. But I think you will be missing out. You will be missing out here in the Philippines. And a lot of times, a lot of us anyway that live here, Ted from Bohol, as an example, I'm here, James and Karen, the Colonel. We don't live in tourist destinations here. We find places away from tourist destinations. We live in places where there's peace and serenity, because usually when you select an area that's a tourist destination, there's going to be crowds in there. There's going to be a lot of people in there. Let me just go back here. I don't want to get too behind on the comments here. Daniel, waving goodbye. Okay, yes, I am your brother, LOL. All right, Bon, Daniel, you are older than me. You're older than me. All right, and so, leaving on a jet plane. Daniel is leaving on a jet plane. I'll be back again. All right, Ted from Bohol, Cebu Mactan Airport is a nice place to land here now. The airport has... Oh, definitely. Like I've mentioned that many times, that if you can land in the Philippines in Cebu, Mactan Airport, or at Clark at Angeles City, instead of flying into Manila, do it. You won't regret it. It's a easier area to land here in the Philippines than Manila. Good morning, Brother Gino. Troops all pray for less rain. I know it's raining in your area. I know. I saw that, man. I saw that Leyte is getting rain today. Yesterday also. Even Filipinos are choosing to vacation to other countries or local staycation because of the time it takes to get places and overpriced. So true. Like, I'm a perfect example, Joe. I can tell you this. People always tell me, Gino, why don't you go to Palawan? Why don't you go to Surigao? You're always in Boracay. I'm like, to me, it just makes sense. I mean, I'm an hour and a half to Boracay. So why would I want to, like, if I wanted to go to Palawan, this is my trek in order for me to make it to Palawan. I have to, from here at my house, I have to go to Caticlan Airport, right? There's no direct flight from Caticlan Airport to Palawan. So that's already an hour that I have to, like, more likely, since I won't leave my car in Caticlan, Dazzle and I would have to ride the van or the bus to go to Caticlan Airport. Okay, we get to Caticlan Airport, the departure at Caticlan Airport. It's not the nicest airport, unfortunately. Boracay Airport is like small, tight, congested. I can manage through it. I can manage. So from there, I have to fly to Cebu, to Mactan, right? So that's an hour flight to Cebu. So from Cebu, I have to land there. Then I got to catch a flight to Puerto Princesa. So from there, the other direction. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way it is. It's like from Boracay Airport, I have to go east And then once I fly east, I gotta go back west. So I'm actually flying over Boracay on the way to Palawan. So but it is what it is because of the airport again, right? So I'll land in Puerto Princesa, right? I finally, hopefully that date don't take me too long because like a lot of times if you have to catch a flight in Caticlan, if your flight's at 9 a.m., of course I have to be there by 7. They want you to be 2 hours early. So it's 7, 9. You land in Cebu about 10 or 11. You got to lay over 4 hours sometimes longer. So by the time I leave Cebu to go to Puerto Princesa, I'll be arriving at Puerto Princesa like 6 p.m., right? You know, of course, for me to make it to Boracay Airport at 7 a.m., I got to get up at 4 or 5 to get ready to catch the van or bus. So when I land at Puerto Princesa, that doesn't mean I'm already in Palawan. I'm not even on the beach. You know, it's going to take me another 3-4 hours on another van, land transportation to get to El Nido or to get to Coron. So I might not get to El Nido or Coron till like 10, sometimes midnight. You know, so the whole day I lose just because I wanted to see a beach in Palawan. And you know, a lot of times I have done that. Dazzle and I have done that where we've traveled all the way to Pagudpod in Ilocos Norte, the northernmost part of the Philippines. We came from Aklan, traveled all the way up there because people were like hyping me up. Oh, you should see they call it the Boracay of the North, Pagudpod, the Boracay, Blue Lagoon, Boracay of the North. All right, I made it all the way up there. It was a challenge getting up there. Like I said, it takes forever to get there, to travel land transportation for hours. We're talking like 6-7 hours land transportation to get there. And when I see the beach, Boracay is the better beach. So to me, it just doesn't make any more sense for me anymore. And then I already know like the cheaper accommodations in Boracay. I'm not gonna get tourist trapped. I don't have to haggle with anybody if I land in Palawan, Surigao, or whatever. I don't have to haggle because I know the exact price. Dazzle's got relatives working at the massage, at the hair braid, at the souvenir shops. I know the prices in Boracay. You know, so to me, I don't get hustled. I don't get scammed in Boracay. So to me, it's more relaxing. And again, I'm sitting right here right now. In an hour and a half, I can be at Front Beach in Boracay Island. So to me, that's, you know, it's just so convenient for me, so easy for me to go there. And then a lot of it too, man. I'm older now, man. Back 15 years ago when I was 45, that's why I was traveling to Southeast Asia. I went to Hong Kong, all the countries, Malaysia, Kota Kinabalu, Brunei, Singapore, Thailand. I was visiting all these places. In the Philippines, I was like Tagaytay, Baguio, you name it. I was traveling. I was 45, man. I'm now gonna be 60. Man, when you're 60, you just don't travel well anymore, man. It's just the truth. I don't look forward to traveling anymore like I used to. You know, used to, man, it was an adventure because I knew when I go to new places, I'm gonna rent a bicycle and I'm gonna ride my mountain bike or bicycle in that area, and that was just awesome for me. I don't even ride a bike anymore, man. That little foldable bike there in the corner, I'll ride it around here in the neighborhood. But I just don't have the stamina anymore to like climb mountains on my mountain bike anymore. So to me, I've just learned. I'm older now. I know my limits now. So in a way, less is more for me. Less of the traveling, less of the physical activities. It's like. And you're true. That's true statement there, Joe. Even here in the Philippines, people are choosing. Like if you live in Iloilo City, can you believe it that if you're living in Iloilo City, you can travel to Thailand, and your airfare, your hotel, and probably your food is going to be cheaper in Bangkok than if you go to Surigao Island. It's going to cost you more for like the Colonel. The Colonel is sitting in Iloilo City. He can travel from Iloilo City direct flight to Bangkok, right? Cheaper hotel, cheaper airfare than going to like you're in Iloilo City, Surigao is only like maybe an hour and a half flight. It's in the same province, We're in like Visayas, It's gonna cost you more to travel to Surigao Island. It doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. It is what it is. For the colonel to travel to Surigao Island, same thing. He would have to go from Iloilo City, gonna have to go to Cebu City. From Cebu City, gonna have to fly to Surigao City. From Surigao City, gonna have to take a ferry to Surigao Island. It's a journey, man. So that's why a lot of Filipinos, like, if I was like living in Manila, I've lived, you got money, you got people that work in Manila. If you're gonna take that one vacation a year, you got a direct flight from Manila to Thailand, and it's cheaper. It makes sense. I would vacation too. You're Filipino. You've been in the Philippines, so you've been to beaches in the Philippines. You've seen one beach in the Philippines. You've seen one island, one white sand beach in the Philippines. They're pretty much the same. Just my opinion. There's not much difference to like white sand beaches from one island to another. They're all white sands. In Thailand, they rely a lot on tourism for their economy. The focus in the Philippines is not on tourism. That is true. Colonel. And like I said, Colonel, a lot of they do promote the tourism here, but not a lot of people say, well, the Philippines, they need more tourism to help the economy. Yeah, it probably help the economy, but does it really help the people like overall the general people? Like I said, like I know here in Aklan, they don't affect the farmers. In mainland Aklan, most people here are farmers. They don't affect the farmers here. The fishermen that fish the waters here in Aklan take their fish to like the public markets. They're not really affected too much. To me, the enjoyment, I think the people that really enjoy the Philippines, if you're really a tourist or long term, if you're going to live here in the Philippines long term, the reason why the Colonel enjoys it here, the reason why JP enjoys it here, is because they've found places here in the Philippines that are not tourist destination. That is where like the locals live. It's like here in Calibo, there's not many expats in Calibo. It might look like there's a lot of expats in Calibo because JP, Edgar, Ruben, but you're still a small number here in Calibo, especially in Aklan province. Once you leave Calibo, like I know Joe Cano, he's thinking about Altabas. If you live in Altabas, Joe Cano, I bet you there's only a handful of Cano. There's only a handful of Cano living in Altabas. Not many. You're going to be surrounded by mostly Filipinos. Living on a jet plane. You pretty likely older than you. Flyboy, hey Flyboy, exchange rate. Oh man, I slacked off, man. My bad, Flyboy. I did not. I wasn't prepared, but I got my laptop here, so I can just like click one button. 58.45. Oh, it dropped a little. 58.45. It was nearing 59. Now it's 58.45. That's a good drop still a high exchange rate. For me, anything 55 and above is a high exchange rate in the Philippines. Good morning, Fortune. I trust all is well. Panglao, Bohol has a brand new international airport now too. Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen that airport in Panglao, man. It's like top notch. One of the best airports around the Philippines. Very nice compared to the old airport at. They are upgrading. They are building a new terminal in Boracay Airport. I saw it. They got high beams. They're like building it, but it'll be a while till they finish it. So we'll see how that turns out. That new terminal that they're building in Boracay Airport. Daniel's song fits you well. Good morning, Belus from Fortune. Hey, Dean, my good friend, my Air Force brother in Colorado Springs. Hi, Gino. Looking forward to seeing you this year. I'm in and out doing chores and some futures trading. But one, hey, thank you, Dean. Appreciate that, my friend. See you this year. See you this year. And tomorrow I'll be busy. There's a guy. He's in Boracay right now. His name's Kevin. I've never met him in person. Just a few text messages. He wanted to meet me in Calibo. He's in Boracay right now. I don't really know much about him, so I'll learn, I'm sure. But he's interested in buying property here in Aklan province. And I was telling him, like I always tell people before buying property in Aklan province, at least live here for a year. Live here for a year. Don't be in a hurry to buy anything. But people are going to do what they're going to do. So I'll show him. He wanted to come here to our community, Camila Aklan, see what's available for sale here. And I do see for sale signs here. So we'll check it out. I'll give him a tour of Calibo, see what he thinks. But I'm always willing to do that if you wanted to see what's available here in Aklan. And then that's tomorrow, right? Wednesday. Thursday, there's the couple. The couple from Arizona, they've been in Boracay now for a week or so. They're going to move into La Casa Española. So they're going to try La Casa Española in Calibo for 30 days. JP, they're going to be your neighbors. His name is Gerhard. His wife is Imelda. They've been married 38 years. A little older than me. They're older than me. But I said, hey, I'll come help you guys out when you already reserved them a place at La Casa Española, an apartment. They wanted to look at a couple of apartments before selecting one. And I'll just help them get settled, grocery, whatever, get them settled. They're going to try Calibo for 30 days. Haha, Ted in San Diego, Ted in Bohol. You got to keep. I know, now I do. Now I got it now. I just, I didn't see the whole name there. I just looked at Ted, but now no worries now. It's like, I'm careful now. Too long to travel to get to tourist places in the Philippines, especially if you are limited. Yeah, if you're limited on time, right? That's why even people in Manila, Ted, a lot of them, they work Monday to Friday. A lot of them go to Boracay for the weekend because it's doable. It's very doable. If you're flying from Manila, it's a 1-hour flight to Caticlan, to Boracay Airport. 15 minutes, you're in Boracay. So if you get off work, let's say 5 p.m. or a little early in Friday, you can fly to Boracay, be in Boracay by 7 Friday night, spend 2 nights, Friday night, Saturday night, come back to Manila Sunday. You could do that on a weekend. It's hard for these other places. Like when you say Palawan and Surigao, those are it's easier in Bohol because of their new airport. But if you say Palawan and you say Surigao Island, if you're gonna vacation at those two places, if I would go to those two places, I would at least have to stay a week, because out of the 7 days vacation, it's gonna take me 1 day to get there, 1 day to get out of there. 5 days total vacation in the island, because it just takes so long to get there to both places. Yeah, either especially now, Jokano, in Iloilo City, there's international flights from Iloilo City now, direct. No stops. You don't have to stop at Manila. You don't have to stop at Cebu. Direct to Thailand, direct to Taiwan, direct to Singapore, and more direct flights to those to country. So it's just so much easy, so convenient. So if I was living in Iloilo, man, I can travel to another country and it's cheaper. Why would you even go to Palawan, or why would you go to Surigao, right? It's another country, it's another adventure, especially if you've never been outside of the Philippines. It'll be a good experience. Shh. Bella, you're the guy. Bella Montana Fruit Farm, Flyboy. All right. I always say that. You always promote it. Hey, man, I'll promote it. Bella Montana Fruit Farm. All right. Belush, yes, sir. Too much price hikes. Really have to find them loopholes. It sours one trying to support limits your kindness. Oh yeah, uh, for me, it's like that's why I always try to be frugal because I'm on a fixed income. I'm on a military pension alone. So I have to like be really frugal. That way, I'm able to put away money every month from my pension. So that's why traveling. I gotta be looking at prices. I gotta be looking at. It's so easy to say, go there, visit that. Why don't you come here, Gino? Why don't you go there, man? I gotta look at prices, man. It's like maybe it becomes easier once I get my Social Security. I'll have two pensions in a couple of years here, but for now, I'm good. I'm good. If I need a vacation, I'll go to Boracay. I'll go visit my friends in Rojas City at the Bye Bye Beach. I can go to Iloilo City. I can even jump to Bacolod City or Dumaguete. Just the nearby places that I enjoy going. Really hits Daniel. the Daniel song. 58.45 closing yesterday. Yeah, I saw the Colonel. I saw James and Karen head to the Beaver. I guess every second Sunday of each month there's a get together at the Canadian. I'm not much of a drinker, so to me, and Dasso's really close friends with Kat, so I know that's most of the time that's the reason why we go, because Dazzle wants to see Kat and they want to hang out, but we're not really big drinkers. So if we don't, I mean, we would eat. We've eaten at the Canadian Beaver before. Sir, good morning, Gino from Jonathan. All right, Skating Geezer, Ormoc City, man. Skating Geezer, my friend in Ormoc. Good morning, Gino and friends. Sprinkling in Ormoc City. So school can. Oh, they canceled school. Yesterday, they let Leanna off school, like middle of the day. It was like 11. We get a notice saying, like, pick up your kid. Pick up your kid. It's like she needs to go home. But today, it doesn't look like, who knows? Who knows? It might start raining and they send the kids home again. A guy invited James. Oh, Olatayan. Oh yeah, that's Ray in Sacramento. That's his island, man. He was born and raised on that island. No classes in Holopanay tomorrow. Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you for the heads up. Fortune. Leanna hadn't mentioned that, So no school tomorrow, Mom, for Leanna.
She mentioned already. It's Emilio.
Oh, okay. She mentioned it to Mom. She didn't mention it to me, Fortune. A lot of rain in Oahu. I know. I saw that, Derek. I saw on one of my YouTube that there was like weather happening in Hawaii. The best thing for the Philippine tourism to flourish is to divert flights out of Manila, the concrete jungle, and have direct flights to the islands. Yeah, I don't know, Vaughn. It's like I don't see it. I don't see if I like the Colonel's saying, tourism must not really be like that important, that big here. Just because there's too much to overcome. There's too much to overcome. Like if you divert it to you can divert it maybe to Cebu, because it's a better airport. But I don't know. It's just I just don't see it improving. I think just because the infrastructure is not there, takes a long time to build any infrastructure. I mean, they've been working on that airport in Bulacan now for years, and I'm hearing delays again on this, the Philippines, it's always kind of like nothing gets done here fast, Let me see, let me look at my notes here. I have another thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, I wanted to discuss this. Part of the tourism. Um, I just wanted to break down like the Philippines recorded 5.6 million foreign arrivals as of December 2025. While growing, the 2025 numbers were slightly below pre-pandemic. So they haven't even recovered the numbers. Pre-pandemic were higher numbers in the Philippines. And me, I already know what the reason is. I already know the reason is even before I read this information. Right now, the top foreign out of those 5 million foreign tourists that come to the Philippines, South Korea is number one here in the Philippines. Over 1 million South Koreans come here to the Philippines. South Koreans just love the Philippines. It's not just tourist destination too for South Koreans. A lot of South Koreans are building businesses here. A lot of South Koreans are sending their kids here to school in the Philippines. Big population of like South Korean kids going to school here in the Philippines. The second country is America, United States, with over 800,000 out of the 5 million. And I think we pretty much know what the reason is for that. Most of the time, Americans, they're married to Filipina, of course. And the other part of it is they want to marry a Filipina. That's why there's so many Americans that come here to the Philippines. The third group of people that come here is Japanese. The fourth is Australians. So those are like the top four countries. And as you can see, you don't see China. You don't see China. Before the pre-pandemic, China was number one here. There was more Chinese tourists here in the Philippines than South Koreans, in the millions. Even Boracay Island, I used to remember, we were just like, busloads from Calibo even. They used to fly. There used to be a direct flight from China, not just from one of the places out of all places. There was a direct flight from Wuhan to like Calibo. There was a direct flight from like Shanghai to Calibo. Multiple flights from China to Calibo. And a lot of those 400 people, 450, you see them in tour buses. They get to Boracay. They were number one in Boracay as an amount of people that come to Boracay Island even before. Number one tourists in the Philippines pre-pandemic. But after the pandemic, and the friction, there's, I don't know what's going on in China. I'm sure because of the tension in the West Philippine Sea, I'm sure they probably sent a warning to Chinese people in China, don't go to the Philippines. I did hear that there's one flight coming back, if not back already, just seasonal, not from one of the provinces in China direct to Calibo, but it's gonna be seasonal, probably just this summer. Maybe it's a tryout. But like again, for me, I do not miss the Chinese tourists in Boracay. It's like, for me, it's like when I was in Boracay, you see them before. They're like an army in Boracay. They used to carry a flag. They used to have the tour guide carrying a flag, and all about 50 Chinese people like walking behind the flag, and everybody talking loud. It's like they're not the most polite people. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that, because I don't want to get in trouble for that. But if you ever experience like the buffets in Boracay, like now, Dazzle and I, we went to the seafood buffet at the Henan. Very nice. It's like I would love to do that again. But when the Chinese were in Boracay before, I would never eat a buffet with the Chinese, because like they're just crazy when they get into the buffets. And again, I will leave it at that. It's like if you know, you know. Belize, we have very little tourism in the wild west. I think, yeah. See, that's the thing, Belize, and I was gonna mention that. The reason Belize is happy where he is in Leyte, the reason why I'm happy here in Numancia, in a little town of Numancia here, population maybe 25,000 people. I'm happy in this. The reason why we're happy here, we don't have to deal with tourists. We don't have to deal with tourists. We don't have to deal with a lot of people. It's if you're looking for a place, retirement place in the Philippines, peaceful, quiet, many places here in Aklan province. It's like I would not like tell you the guys that and you land here and then you lied to me. It's horrible here. There's so many expats here. There's no I can't find peace here. You will find it here because we're province here. We don't have the crowds of the city here. The wild west that Belus is talking about, we still got that here. We see, I think you've seen that in James and Karen's adventures, like going to Libacao, right? James riding the bamboo raft in this motorbike with no straps or anything, just floating down the river. I mean that's the wild west right there, man. Fortune, right, Vaughn? More direct to the islands. That's why we advise to fly Cebu in Iloilo. Boracay has direct flights. Calibo will have soon from other countries. Yeah, I know, right? But the thing with Calibo flights, Fortune, it's seasonal. They're doing it because the summer's coming up. So there's going to be direct flights from China, Korea, Taiwan, maybe even Singapore. But again, it's seasonal because summer season is coming, March, April, May, those 3 months. The airlines, they're taking advantage because those people want to go to, Boracay is just like super crowded during the summer months. But even that, Vaughn, like even in that thinking, more flights to like, you're still quite a distance, like if let's say, you're coming from another country. Let's say you are entering into Iloilo City. You're still far. You're far from Boracay, from Iloilo City. You're still 5-6 hour drive. The Philippines is just so spread out. It's really hard to like even like let's say Mactan. If you land in Cebu, right? If you land in Cebu, when you land to Cebu, if you want to go to like like Panglao, Bohol, there is a ferry. You can ride a ferry. It's just not, it's so spread out that you will still end up like traveling. You're still gonna, and if you want to drive even, like even the tour, the popular places in Cebu, when people go there, like the Oslo to swim with the whale, the whale sharks, or swim with the sardines, millions of sardines in Boal. It's still quite a trek, Once you get to Cebu, you got to ride a van. You got to ride a van or a bus to Boal or to like Oslo. And then once you're done with the activity, once you're done swimming with the whale sharks, there's not much. There's not much in that area. I think that's the attraction to Boracay now, is because you got a lot of stuff in there to do. You got clubs, you got restaurants, you got Western food, nice hotels. You got activities around, like the party boats. You got water activities. When you go to places like Oslo or Boal, once you're done doing the activity with the whale shark or done with the swimming with their sardines, it's just another beach. It's just another beach. Fortune, it's more OFW remittance. That's the focus for the, yes, right? That's the, and unfortunately, I don't see it changing. It's like, if anything, then I see it getting worse, Fortune, right? It's like with AI, because like the BPO industry, the call center industry, that's going to, we all know that's going to get hurt by AI coming in. There's going to be less people demanding like call centers, virtual assistant. People are going to get replaced by AI here. So what's going to happen? People are like, what's going to happen to all the call centers in the film? Unfortunately, I know what's going to happen to Filipinos. They're going to go overseas. It's already happening. I'm already seeing it happen. It's like more and more people are going to the Middle East again, working domestic help, working construction, you name it. Filipinos, man, they'll travel anywhere for a job because unfortunately, they just don't see it here. They don't see it here in the Philippines. Unless you're well-to-do in the Philippines, unless you're able to send your kids here in the Philippines to private schools in Manila to end up in a good job, like me for Liana, I'll be able to send her to like a private nursing school. I have the means to help her. Even if when she graduates, she becomes a nurse, you still need money to like make that jump from the Philippines to go to work abroad. It costs money for passport. It costs money for visa. It costs money for those exams, the NCLEX, the English exams. A lot of people, they borrow a lot of money just to get all that, get in debt before they even start working overseas. Unfortunately, that's going to continue, it's gonna get worse for Filipinos. It's gonna be more and more Filipinos have to go abroad. OFW numbers are gonna be insane because that's how the Philippines for so many years. That's how they've managed unemployment here in the Philippines. That's why the push of the government, like Fortune is saying, is always that overseas OFW remittance to the Philippines, or they give a lot of incentive for Filipinos to go overseas and work. That's one way that you don't have to create jobs in the Philippines, right? You don't got to create jobs in the Philippines, so you're sending all the Filipinos everywhere to work and have them bring back the money here and build the money, the OFW money here. That's been the dynamic in the Philippines since the 70s. For 50 years, that's been the dynamic. So they're not going to change now. They're not going to change now. That's going to continue to be dynamic. If anything, whatever industry, and seems to be nursing, seems to be the industry that nursing and seamanship, merchant marine, those are the two industries that's like 1 and 2. That's like a lot of workers demand for it to work overseas. Maybe if there's another demand for people to work, maybe something to do with AI. I don't know, that Filipinos will fill it. Filipinos will adapt, man. Filipinos will adapt. Whatever job is available in the Middle East, in Europe, in America, in Canada. If you need Filipinos to dig for natural gas, to dig for oil, whatever, Filipinos will do it. They'll learn it and they'll do it. They'll be willing to travel anywhere for the job. Calibo has the mangrove park, the weaving museum, pottery, and few other places I've seen on videos. Yeah, I've filmed them. Joe. There are waterfalls and other that could be promoted. Yeah, there are. It's like I think the reason it doesn't get the promotion, Joe. Everybody just wants to go to Boracay. When they go to Aklan province, most people don't even step foot in mainland Aklan. Unfortunately, they miss it. They miss that part. Many people have gone to Boracay, and Boracay is part of Aklan province, but many people don't even. The only time they spend in mainland Aklan is that going from the airport to the ferry and then going to Boracay Island. They miss out. They miss out on a lot of maybe again lack of promotion from. But I do know, like one of the attractions that very popular with Koreans. Koreans love it, and I took James and Karen to it. Dazzle and I, James and Karen. We took them to Malumpati. Remember that video we did with the inner tube going down the river? Man, the Koreans love that. So what's happened is, like, when the Koreans go to Boracay Island, they also take those same Koreans in Boracay, pick them up from their hotel, and take them to Antique, to Pandan Antique for the. They provide transportation from they pick you up from your hotel, put you on a boat, get you to the mainland, then drive you on a van, and then you're at the river to do some water tubing. So maybe if they can do something similar like that to some of the activities in mainland Aklan. So you don't mind see how New England played the Super Bowl champion 2026 search there. They might, and I don't know. I don't know if we'll end up seeing that. If we end up seeing that here, I don't know if I've never seen it, Derek. Like the losing team, like they make those shirts. I've never seen one here in the Philippines at the ukay ukay at the thrift store. I'd buy one, just for giggles, man. Full year 2025 will likely be 35 billion, 35 billion, man. Remittance, I'm thinking remittance for do you have data on the impact of remittances in the Philippines, especially how money is corrupted before it gets to the people? Way away from tourist areas where things are right, Ted from Bohol. He knows it. That's why I lived my first 18 months in Boracay Island. Enjoyed it. Amazing time. But also because I was on a pension, I realized, I'm on a fixed income. I'm living in Boracay. If I move to Calibo, which is only an hour and a half away, I could be saving more money. So for me, I enjoyed it. I had a good time in Boracay those 18 months. But it's cheaper for me, way cheaper for me to live here in Numancia than Boracay. Because now I can visit it. Now I actually appreciate it more. Every time there's excitement for me. Like every time I'm on the ferry to Boracay, I'm like, ooh, Boracay. I'm ready to do the things I used to do there all the time. But way cheaper. It's not even close, man. It's not even close. Give you an example. Dazzle and I went to New Washington. We ordered, Dazzle ordered a kilo of oysters. That kilo of oysters at New Washington, fresh out of the ocean, still alive. You gotta like steam it or something to cook it, right? Because Dazzle likes it cooked. She doesn't like it raw. It costs at the restaurant, at our favorite restaurant, 50 pesos. 50 pesos for 1 kilo of oysters in New Washington. That same 1 kilo of oysters in Boracay, minimum 450. Minimum 9 times the cost in Boracay for that same oyster. Same New Washington oysters that they take to Boracay, they sell it 9 times. So you kind of sense, right? You kind of see how the difference between living. When I lived in Boracay, my studio apartment in Boracay was, at one time I had a studio apartment in Boracay. I had a 2-bedroom apartment in Calibo. My studio apartment, really tiny room, really a bed, a bamboo couch, a small refrigerator, and a bathroom. At Front Beach on Angol. It cost me 10,000 pesos back in 2011, 2012. My apartment in Calibo was 7,000, 3,000 less, and it was 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I had a big living room. I had a big kitchen. I had like an area, a sit down area, like a breakfast counter. It's a nice 2-bedroom, 1 bath apartment compared to like the closet that I had in Boracay. It is what it is, it's like, but in Boracay, you got the beach. That's what you're paying for in Boracay is the beach. Metro Manila is overcast skies. Same here, Ren, same here. Very overcast right now. Living in a tourist destination would be stressful and similar to living in the West. So, no attraction to me. Yep. Yeah. For me, I was able to manage it when I lived in Boracay because the area where I lived, like Angol Beach, Station 3, more long-term residents stayed there. Mostly foreigners, mostly expats stayed there. And for me, it was just a dream for me to I've been to Boracay many times before 2011. It was just like, I always told myself, if I had the opportunity to live in Boracay, I would do it. And I'm glad I was able to do it. It's like, it was a good place for me to like decompress. You know, it was a good place for me to like coming from the United States, being in the military, high stress job, hospital, another 7 year high stress job. It was a good place for me. Boracay was like to decompress, to slow down my life, because when you're in Boracay, there's pretty much just chilling on the beach. You know, all you do is like you run on the beach, you swim in the ocean, you hang out by the coconut tree. You know, it's like you eat lunch, you find a carinderia, hang out at the beach. You know, you play beach volleyball, you play ultimate frisbee. There's just like, I had a mountain bike, so I rode around on my mountain bike all over Boracay. So very were laid back, you know. So it was a good transition from a high stress, high hectic work to island life, to like be on island time, learn the island time. Fortune, I'm not sure, Vaughn, but the remittances, I think, go directly to the people. I mean, if you send money to a relative, you can you can define the person. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like remittances are the same remittances that we do, right? Like if you're in the US, you send yourself money using Remitly, Zoom, whatever company, Wise. It's the same thing with and the government, they really treat, you know, the government knows, man. OFWs, they get a lot of perks. If you're an OFW working overseas, the government here in the Philippines at least takes care of them. Even the balikbayan boxes that OFWs send to the Philippines, you know, they can pretty much pack anything in there. You know, it's like they let them through. They're not strict because they know, man, it's an engine that the Philippines will continue to like, if anything, build more, require more OFWs, because they can't build jobs here for some reason. You know, it's like it just costs more here in the Philippines than other Southeast Asian nations. You know, because you're wondering, right? For me, I've always wondered, why is it Vietnam is able to like, you know, start making Nikes, start making Levi's, start making all this? Why can't the Philippines have the factories like they're producing now in Vietnam? The reason is it costs more here. Filipinos actually make more money than Vietnamese people. And the other biggest piece is for the businesses to build factories here in the Philippines, electricity is expensive here. That's why that discovery of that natural gas in Palawan, that is huge. If they can somehow lower the electricity bill here in the Philippines, that might attract foreign investors here. You know, for me, you know, if you're like Nike, if you're Levi's, if you're like these manufacturing companies, you know, it makes sense that they're in Vietnam because it's cheaper for them to do business in Vietnam. You know, that's what they need to do here in the Philippines, I think. But, you know, that's it might take a while. It might take a while for that. Local airplane fare Manila to Davao is more expensive than Manila to Bangkok or Manila. That's the thing, right? See, Renz, perfect example. Yeah, same thing I was saying, Renz, earlier. If I flew out of Iloilo City, it cost me cheaper to fly to Bangkok than to fly to Surigao Island. And then when I get to Surigao Island and I'll get to Bangkok, my hotel will be even cheaper. It's not cheap anymore to go to Surigao Island if you're going to stay at a hotel there. Because when you go to Surigao Island, it's kind of like the new Bali. You know, it's like you see it on YouTube, right? You know, I haven't gone because like I'm looking at it. It's nothing but like surfers, skateboard, my kind of people. I love those people, but they're foreigners. They're basically foreigners. So anytime it's a foreigner destination like Bali, like Surigao Island, prices are going to go up, man. You're not going to find accommodations there that are cheap. The corruption here is really in the budget and the kickbacks from the projects and yeah, and it's really I don't think it's, you know, remittance are affected by the corruption. It's the ghost projects. The ghost projects is what I see a lot of. I got lucky with my location where my wife is from. the ferry, we can be in Cebu from Getafe, Bohol. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's good that you have access to Cebu. You know, that way, if you want to go shopping, you want Texas Roadhouse, you want SNR. You know, you got access to that, man. That's awesome. That's why for me, I love it here in Panay Island because I'm only 3.5 hours away from SNR or Iloilo. I can access. You know, it's like, and I can just drive it. You know, I can just drive it. Vaughn, yes, Fortune, the beauty of remittances is that money goes straight to the people. Then taxes are stolen. People first. People first. Flyboy, how much US dollars flight from Manila to Mactan, Cebu? By Cebu? Just depends. This depends, Flyboy. It depends how close you are to booking it. If it's farther away from Manila to Cebu, if it's like maybe a month away, you might be able to find like maybe one way, maybe 3,000. But if it's today or you're flying tomorrow, man, don't be surprised if you got to pay like 15,000 for that flight, you know, because they got you, you know, they know you're desperate to fly. So they're going to like overcharge you. Same thing with any flights from Boracay Airport to like Angeles City or to Manila. If you farther back, you can get a cheaper rate. But like if you're like, you know, you're flying like this weekend, you're gonna pay more. I have heard people complaining about lots of fake charges being added to local airfare tickets. That I wouldn't know, Joe. I haven't flown in so long, man. Like, when was the last time I flew, man? It's been at least, man, I can't even, I haven't flown since 2022. I haven't flown in 4 years, so I can't talk, I can't tell. You know, it's like the next time I fly, I'll check. I'll check if there's any like fake charges. That's interesting, Rans. Ted Ball depends on time of the year, Flyboy, but usually very cheap. Boracay, nothing else. You are absolutely right. Emilio, nothing else. Ted, Surigao is very dollars, big time tourist spot. Yeah, you know, it's not just a big tourist spot now for the Philippines. It is the next Bali. You know, Surigao Island basically became Bali. How Bali was a few years. Now it's a Surigao Island. All the surfer dudes, all everybody's headed to Surigao Island. Cloud9, it's got a reputation. And Colonel went to Thailand last year for a week. Unless in touristy areas, it can be cheaper. However, in the touristy areas, Thailand is more expensive. Yeah, like if you're gonna stay long term, right, Colonel, in Thailand, it would be the same dynamic. If you want to save money in Thailand, if you do decide living in Thailand long term, you're not gonna live in like the touristy area. You're gonna find like places where the tourists don't go because anytime there's tourists, it's gonna cost you more being around tourists. If you have data on the impact of OFW remittances to the Philippines economy, please send it forward. Thank you. All right, all right. Same, said hi. Same. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? And your family? We're doing well. I mean, we're doing well. It's a rainy day. All I've been doing really is just staying home. I'm still not fully recovered for whatever this super flu, whatever I got, so I've just been taking it easy. I don't want to spread it to people. That's why even tomorrow when I meet Kevin and the following day when I meet Gerhard and Melda, I'll wear a mask when I'm outside because I don't want people catching whatever this thing that I caught, man. Michael Manalastas, hey, good morning, brother. My good friend, my brother in Northern California. My friend SpongeBob on your shelf. Smiley, yeah, SpongeBob right there. That's Dazzles. She's got like SpongeBob, and she also has Stitch up there. There's like SpongeBob and then Stitch right there next to SpongeBob. How much Camellia Home right now? Different prices, depends on what you're looking at. for a two-bedroom like ours, like our two-bedroom, one bath, you're looking at least 2.3 million. You know, this house, this two-bedroom, one bath, when I purchased it 11 years ago now, it was 1.5 million. Now, the starting price is about 2.3 million. Is there any monthly rental in your area? Yeah, many monthly rental. A lot of places in the Philippines, people buy in gated communities, in condominiums, houses. People like that have extra money here in the Philippines, they buy to invest. And there's any place you go, there's going to be rental property. There's rental properties here in our gated community, like several. One guy was just like on the live stream the other day. He goes, "Hey Gino, I'm gonna be your neighbor." I said, "Hey, all right." You know, it's like there was an expat that lived there for about a year. He moved out, and it looks like another expat is moving in, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, fully furnished house. I actually filmed that house here in Camilla Aklan. So I'm gonna get a new neighbor. Like and subscribe. Same Wolf. All right. Good AM, Michael M. and Emilio. Good AM for Fortune, Michael M. Surigao is dominated by foreign over local. Oh yeah, and I can see why, Fortune, because like it's not cheap. It's not cheap to go to Surigao Island, man. And even when you get there, the hotels are outrageously priced. And then, of course, like local cafes, you know, they're full of like vegan food and vegan coffee. You know, it's like elevated in price because you know you got the demand. You got like so many foreigners there. Not only tourist foreigners, but living in Surigao Island now. Sun came out here with about half hour before sundown and has melted most of the snow. Our weather has been as crazy as my baby hammer for craziness. That's funny. That's funny, Joe. My friend Gino, God bless, God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amen, amen. You're a funny man, Joe from Vaughn. Like and subscribe from Same Wolf. All right. Hey, Lowell, my good friend in Oregon. God bless, my brother. Kumusta? Mabuti ako, Lowell. Southern Cal, I read that they began offering Chinese visa-free travel. Yeah, that's the reason. You know, it's like, you know, the numbers, you know, basically bottomed out. Yeah, from earlier I had mentioned how the top 4 countries are South Korea, U.S., Japan, and Australia. Top 4 tourists that come to the Philippines. Before the pandemic, China was number 1. They're not even in the top 4. You know, they pretty much abandoned the Philippines. And now there's a push. There's a push by the government to attract more Chinese tourists to the Philippines. Right here, it says, the government is focusing on recovering the Chinese market through initiatives like the resumed e-visa. You know, that's what you're talking about, like visa-free travel. I don't know, maybe I'm biased. You know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of China, man. I do not miss them in Boracay. I'll leave it at that. You know, it's like I enjoy Boracay more now that the Chinese tourists are gone. But I know there's one flight coming back from China to Calibo, so I'll be expecting some Chinese in Boracay Island. They're just not the friendliest people. And you can't talk to them. You really can't talk to them. And they're just, to me, they're just rude, man. They're not the most polite people. Unlike the Koreans, unlike the Japanese people, they're just polite, man. Chinese people, man, they're rough, man. They're just rough, man. Don't ever get in a buffet where there's a group of Chinese headed to the buffet. It's not going to be a good experience. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Same Wolf, that's cool. Southern Cal, do you know most of those American visitors are Filipinos who are naturalized citizens? Who are naturalized citizens. Yeah, a good number of it, but a lot of us that are American citizen, naturalized, a lot of us are like long-term stays here in the Philippines. The tourist numbers, not that much, because like, think about it, Southern Cal, Benny. If you're Filipino, you're now naturalized in America, the Philippines would not be your top tourist destination. Like my friends in America now, it's like Rommel, my friends that are in Phoenix, in California, they tour Europe. They tour other places, because they've been to the Philippines. They grew up in the I guess because if you count like the people that's living here, but I don't think I'm counted as a tourist because I've never left. I've been here 15 years. I don't know. I don't know the breakdown. Southern Cal, Benny. So I don't know how much of those tourists are counted as natural citizens. But my thinking, like for natural citizens like me that became American citizens, we're more long term, like here in the Philippines. So I don't think we count as a tourist here in the Philippines. Because for me, I know I'm not counted as tourist. I haven't left the Philippines in 15 years, man. Fortune, good AM, Lowell, Southern Cal, Benny. Like and subscribe. Ted, I spent a lot of time in Shanghai for my job and was surprised how many Filipino entertainers were there. Most of the clubs that Filipino singers. Oh yeah, that to me that's not surprising, Ted. To me, even back in the 80s, right? When I was stationed in Korea, all the people, a lot of the entertainers that were working in Korea were Filipinas. Very few Koreans, especially now. If you go to Korea and hit the bars in Korea and go to like the entertainment, the red light district, all that, it's mostly Filipinas working in Korea. Same thing anywhere, everywhere, China, it doesn't matter. It's like that is what Filipinos. That's what we send to other countries is our people. That's why there's so many OFWs. I have a friend that he was a musician in Boracay. He's now working in Dubai. That's just how it is. It's like you get hired to go over. They just pay better anywhere but the Philippines. Unfortunately, if you have talent, if you're a good singer. You're pretty much, to me, if you're just singing in Boracay, if you're singing in Panglao, you're going to be wasting your talent. You're going to get old and, you're not going to make money. If you're a really good singer and they offer you a job in the Middle East, in China, in Korea, in Japan, you got to take it. You got to take it. My friend, you and your family have a great day. Thank you. Thank you so much. My phone battery. All right. Take care. Hey, Albatos, my friend in Parañaque. Hey, what's up, my brother? See you soon, right? Not this weekend, but next weekend. I'm going to see Albatos in Boracay Island. Lowell, good morning, Fortune. God bless. Hey, Brother Gino, Pinay Heart from Oceanside, California. Hello, Pinay Heart. We're paying 50 pesos per Aklan oyster in Makati. Ooh, I know. I know that the oysters make it all the way to Manila. I know that. Somebody had told me that one time they went to the area in Manila, the Paluto near the bay, and they were advertising like Aklan oysters. because they're amazing, man. The Aklan oysters. I wish next time I'll have Dazzle open one. When you open it, it's a good size. Some of the oysters are almost like the size of my hand, but they're so tender. It's like they're melt in your mouth. Like, they're not like when you like eat the oyster, you're like, oh, it's a big chunk. And I mean, they're almost like it slides in your mouth. It's like amazing. Very cheap compared to San Francisco. Pinay. Isn't there a Coach factory there? A Coach factory? I don't know. I don't know if there's a Coach factory here. I know there's a lot of Coach bootleg over here. I know there's a lot of fake Coach bags here in the Philippines, but I don't know about a Coach factory. BPO was the biggest new industry in recent years in the Philippines. Yeah, like the call center. So I don't know. I don't know what's going. With AI now. Everybody's like worried about that industry with AI coming in. But like I said, all that's gonna happen if there's a lot of unemployment. People worry about that, right? People are worrying. Oh, what's gonna happen? Philippines is gonna crash. Call centers are gonna close. Filipinos, it's gonna be horrible for Filipinos. Filipinos will just travel abroad, man. It's happening now. It's like people working at call centers, people doing different jobs here. They already have an application to go abroad. It's like, and we're going anywhere. Filipinos will go anywhere. Korea, Japan, Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, you name it. Filipinos will go for a job. That's always been the government solution here in the Philippines for unemployment and low unemployment here is to send the workers overseas, make their money there, send the money back to the family here. That's what's been fueling the Philippine economy since the 1970s. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. You go to Senedo? No, I don't go to Senedo, Palawan. Surigao is charging tourist prices. That's crazy. Oh yeah, well, it's supply and demand, Pinay Heart. Supply and demand. It's like, it's out of all the places in Southeast Asia, beach area, Surigao is it right now. Surigao is the new Bali. What Bali used to be, that's Surigao now. That's where everybody wants to go. They see the surf, they see Cloud Nine, and they're like fall in love. It's not just like Australians, it's Europeans, it's not just Americans, it's everybody around the world. They just saw Cloud Nine, all that surfing going on, all that, the scene, the vibe in Surigao. It's kind of like if you're a surfer dude, if you like surfing, if you like skateboarding, it's island living. That's the attraction to Surigao Island. Gino, a lot has to do with logistics here. Over 7,000 islands makes things a little tough here. Drives up the cost for everything compared. Oh yeah, Thailand, right? It's like they're even connected to other countries in Southeast Asia. It's just so hard to travel in the Philippines. It's like there's so many beautiful areas to visit in the Philippines, but once you go to that place, it will most of the time the beautiful places, it's beautiful to see once you get there, beautiful to experience, but it's not developed. It's, if you're looking for peace and quiet, it's perfect. But a lot of times, tourists, they like everything. They want the white sand beaches. They want the clubs at night. They want the Western restaurant. They want Shangri-La Hotel with swimming pools, massage. They want it all, for tourists, Not all, most of the tourists, that's why Boracay is the number one tourist in the Philippines, is because it's got all that, It's not, it's not one of those places. Yeah, you can go to Palawan in El Nido, Coron. You can go to like your own villa, your own villa with your own stretch of beach. Not many people, but you're gonna have to pay that amount, to stay in that place. And kind of like you see the Maldives. The Maldives is always promoted, but I know that's above my pay grade. I'll never see Maldives in my lifetime. Fortune. Good AM, Pinay Heart. Kuya Fortune, I found out Surigao because of this celebrity who left her fame and moved there. Moved there. Me, I found out about Surigao. I've heard about it a long time ago, but I got really interested in Surigao when 8 miles from home during the pandemic. You know, when that little girl, Story, when Story was like a toddler, when Story was like 2 years old, and I followed them. I followed that family. I was watching them. That's really how I got interested in YouTube. You know, they were kind of like the. I remember them. I remember Dustin Backpacks. I know Dustin Backpacks is back in the U.S. now with his family, Filipino wife and kid. But they were the ones I was watching during the pandemic. I watched every single 8 miles from home when they were, and I'm not sure. I haven't watched them lately, so I can't tell you. But I'm sure they're still. I'm sure they still have that home in what is that place where they had the solar panels, the same one that got damaged during the big typhoon 1 year, broke glass and everything in their house. I'll have to catch up. I'll have to catch up on their videos because I know they just had another kid. I know they just had another kid. Like and subscribe, Fortune. Andy, oh yeah, Andy Engelman, the girl that's married to the surfer dude. That is Surigao is surfing capital. Oh yeah, not even close, man. People say La Union. They say there's another surfing place here, La Union, but not the. I've been to La Union. The beaches like in Surigao are just nicer, and the surf just breaks better. Philippines adored her, choosing to live in Surigao. It's funny to know it's not even a simple life I thought of. Haha. Oh yeah, it has changed. It has changed. I would say right at the pandemic, especially now, Surigao has just changed. Price here, everything's raising in prices in Surigao. Cost of living there has got to be outrageous because everything's got to be shipped there. Also, Nadine Lustre. Yeah, I remember. I remember her time. Yeah, just a lot of Filipino celebrities, a lot of foreigners, basically. That's kind of like the it place here in the Philippines. Super overpriced because of the foreign tourists. But you can go to the non-tourist area there. They have nice carinderia. Yeah. Pinay. Is it easy to travel there? Nope, not easy to travel there, Pinar. Trust me. Because you gotta fly. If you're coming from Manila, like I know you're coming from Cavite, you gotta fly to more likely you'll have to fly to Cebu. Then for Cebu, you gotta fly to Surigao City. From Surigao City, you gotta get on the ferry, 2-3 hour ferry to Surigao Island. So not easy. It'll take you a day. If you're coming from Manila, it's gonna take you a day. Rents, Japanese, South Koreans, and Taiwanese are more polite. I think so. I have to agree, right? It's like to me, just my experience because my time in Boracay, the peak. I remember the peak. During 2011, 2012. There's just so many Chinese people in Boracay, and then I just had terrible experience with them. It's like they bump you. They like they're terrible at the buffets. Like I said, there was even one lady. She dug on White Beach, Boracay, and this went viral in Boracay. White Beach, Boracay, one of the top beaches in the world. And this Chinese lady dug on the, using one of those sandcastle things with her kids had. She dug, and somebody took a picture of her. She put a diaper in white sand on Boracay, a dirty diaper. To me, it's just like what are these people doing? What are these people doing? I didn't really have good experiences, and some of my friends when we visited Busan, I had a wrong impression. Maybe I was in the wrong place when I was in Korea. I never made it to Busan. I lived in Korea at Suwon. Suwon. I was stationed at Suwon Air Base, but this was back in the 80s. This was when Korea was still growing. They weren't developed yet. They weren't rich yet when I was stationed there in the military. It was rice fields. People were really polite. People were really humble. I'm sure it's changed now. From what I see of Seoul and South Korea now, it's more Americanized now, more modern because they made so much money. They became a rich country. Back in the 80s, they were poor. They were far above the Philippines. They're way above the Philippines now when it comes to economy. I have a friend who is a chef owner of the restaurant Chef, Sheev, and ceviche. All right, ceviche, man. I love ceviche, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of ceviche. His name is David Del Rosario. We used to work together in BPI. He was oh, nice. All right, man. It doesn't hurt to know chefs, man. Have friends that are chefs. They make good food. Portfolio manager, Pinay Heart. But Japan is always phenomenal when it comes to kindness. Yeah, Japan, I mean, it's just their culture. Japanese are just so polite. I think out of all the countries I've been in the world, number one politeness is Japan. It's like you can't get more polite than Japanese. I think it's like the most polite is Japanese and the other spectrum is Chinese. And Siargao, direct flights from Manila is expensive. Usually fly to Cebu. Book another flight to Siargao. The airport there can only do small, like very small airplanes. So most of the times you have to land in a Siargao city and ride a ferry, or fly to Mindanao and Siargao, and they take a ferry. Yeah. Very few flights you can directly fly to Siargao Island because it has to be the small propeller, and I wouldn't trust those things. I think they crash more than anything, man. I don't trust like the propeller. What happens if the propellers? You're only working with one propeller. I don't know. I just don't trust those, man. Good morning, Jonathan from the Colonel. Pinay Heart, I read that they will put up a coach factory in Tarlac. All right, Tarlac. All right, very good if they do. Very good if they do, man. Ted, we are well known for oysters here in Buena Vista, Bohol. Many mangroves here. Oh, nice. Here in Aklan, New Washington is like the top producer of oyster in Panay Island. They supply even Iloilo City, and I know they supply Manila. They supply Boracay. Very well known for the oyster because I wish I had a picture, but I guess you can Google it. Yeah, just put New Washington Aklan oyster, and you'll see. It's like amazing how big and beautiful the oyster is in New Washington. Living here in Oceanside costs a lot too. Lots of surfers and people compete here over the world. Yeah, they have surfing competitions now also in Siargao Island, becoming more and more popular with the big surfers of the world, even from Hawaii. They go to Cloud now. Cloud 9 is what they call it. Yep, Pinay used to surf there a lot. Trestles at San Onofre State Beach. Southern Cabini, Dustin Backpack is back in Cebu. I didn't know that. I gotta catch up with some of these people that I used to really watch, man, because they got me interested in YouTube. Then and they were fun, man. They were a fun family. Ooh, a big tumor. Yeah, Dustin always been like he's always about helping people, man. Seen that, Benny. Hope he can help them. All right, I'll have to watch his latest videos now. Thank you for that. Young Fresh, I remember at Caticlan Airport with my girl. We were going to Manila for a weekend, and this Chinese person was smoking a cigarette blowing it while on the line to get in outside. They just don't care. I know, man. It's like uh, they're all in their own world. It seemed it's like I said, I do not miss not having all the Chinese people in Boracay Island, man. But I know they're coming. I know they're coming this summer. I know they're coming this summer because I already heard that they have a seasonal flight from direct from China now to Calibo that's gonna start for the summer months here. Yeah, you see them on White Beach, if you walk around, that's why now they're very strict on White Beach. But cigarette butts, they'll just throw their cigarette butts on the sand, man. I'm like, it's like, I know the Philippines, I know the Philippines has trash issues, but don't add to it, and don't add to it. I flew the turboprop from Cebu direct. Took about an hour. Little scary. I know. I wouldn't fly those things, man. I wouldn't fly. I don't think I could ever get Dazzle to fly a turboprop, man. She will choke me if I make her fly a turboprop. Coffee Digest Cafe looks like a chill spot. Thanks for. Oh yeah. I go there too. It's like they just went there for like their date day. Dazzle, Leanne, and Mom. They always do a date day also. Dazzle and I do our date day, and the three of them do. They're girls. They chica. Plus we have Kal-El now, so somebody's got to watch Kal-El. And I'm gonna show you Kal-El real quick. Hopefully my other dog Totoy doesn't freak out because I'm gonna end the live stream soon anyway. So I'm gonna go show you. Kal-El's getting bigger. He's 3 months now and 1 week. Hey, Kal-El. I wanted to show you Kal-El real quick before I end the live stream. Kal-El is now 3 months and 1 week. He's really been a blessing to Dazzle and Leanne and Mom because we lost our dog Chloe the day before Thanksgiving. Chloe was our Shih Tzu for 11 and a half years, and we haven't really recovered from that. We really miss Chloe. But this little guy right here, he's like really picked up our spirit. Like just last week, Leanna, she got really down because she was missing Chloe. But this little guy right here, he's so cute and he's full of energy too. Kal-El, our new Shih Tzu. All right. That's the end of the comments. Thank you very much for joining the live stream this morning. I'll be a day off tomorrow. Again, 1 day on, 1 day off on the live stream. So I will no live stream tomorrow, but the following day I'll see you on the live stream. With a mohawk, Kal-El, you're gonna get a mohawk. You're gonna get a mohawk, Kal-El. You're gonna get a mohawk. The Colonel wants to see a mohawk. The Colonel wants to see a mohawk, Kal-El. All right. Take care, everyone. Appreciate your time this morning. Everyone, stay blessed. Stay blessed.